So looking at question 12, this comes from 7.2 again, solving equations. Again, to solve an equation means we want to determine the value of x that makes each side the same. So again, notice how the right-hand side is 6. So what I'm trying to figure out is, 2 times what number minus 4 gives me 6. So that's basically what you're trying to figure out is 2 times what value, then subtract 4 will equal 6. So if I can figure out what that value is, I've solved the equation. Well, to me, if I can figure out what I can subtract 4 from to get 6, I'm kind of home free. So I'm thinking this should be a 10. Well, 2 times what gives you a 10? Well, that would be a 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. So the solution should be a 5 using my critical thinking skills. Now, if I want to use some paper pencil thinking, what I can do is write this as, 2x minus 4 is equal to 6. But what I can do is write this as x times 2 minus 4 is equal to 6. And one of the things we are allowed to do is think backwards. So if I start from the other side and go this direction, whatever I see over here, I have to do a backwards relationship. So since this is a minus 4, when I come this way, this means to go 6 plus 4. And then after you do that, you have to then, instead of multiply by 2, then you have to divide by 2. So what I have to do is I have to add the 6 and 4 first, and then I have to divide by 2. So parentheses would actually be required if I was writing the whole problem out. And if I was doing it all in my head, then I'd be fine. 6 plus 4 is 10, and then 10 divided by 2, I can do mentally. But if I'm writing it all down, I want to add the 6 and 4 first, so they have to be put in parentheses. Otherwise, the order of operations would be incorrect. So notice how this gives me a 10 divided by 2, which does indeed give me this 5. So x does equal 5. That would be my solution. Now, if I want to use the property of equality, so if I have 2x minus 4 equals 6, if I want to use the property of equality, this takes 2 steps. To get x by itself, our first strategy is get rid of what's added or subtracted. So notice how this minus 4 is present. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of that. Because to get rid of the 2 is connected by addition, the 2 is connected by multiplication, and division is always much harder in thinking backwards. So if possible, we want to save that for last. So what we want to do is this. If the number and its opposite are added together, that answer is 0. So notice how I want to make this negative 4, if you will, because remember, subtraction is adding the opposite. So this really means a negative 4. What I want to do is get rid of a negative 4. To get rid of a negative 4 or undo subtraction is to add 4 to both sides. That's the property of equality. Whether you do one side, you do the other. Notice how the loss of 4 and the addition of 4 will cancel each other out and give you a 0. That's that 0 pair. So what we're left with then is 2x is on the left side, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's how we're getting closer to getting x by itself. And notice how you already probably see the answer at this point. 2 times what number is 10? Well, the solution is 5. So again, you could just stop there and say, hey, the answer is 5. But if you want to keep on going, if you divide a number by itself, it has to equal 1. So notice how, since this is multiplication, I want to make this 2 turn into a 1. So if I divide that 2 by itself, and if I divide this 10 also by that 2, that's the property of equality going on. This creates a new statement that's still balanced, if you will. So the 2's will divide out, turn into a 1, but the coefficient of 1 is not shown. So my solution is going to be x equals 10 divided by 2 would turn into a 5. So that would be my solution, x equals 5. So this problem here, if you can see it in your head, just use your own critical thinking to determine it. You also can just think backwards by going from right to left. Or again, the property of equality is something that we may be more familiar with through our high school teachings. But there are all kinds of approaches to solving equations for their solutions.